Now, by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can 10x your revenue with this genius webinar strategy that we actually went ahead and implemented for one of our clients. Now, if you're new here, my name's Reese. I run a marketing agency that helps coaches and course creators to pretty much scale up their businesses to 100K plus months, completely done for them. Now, when it comes to webinars, there's two routes that you can go down. Number one is you launch a live webinar, which you could launch once a week, bi-weekly, or if you really wanted to, you could do it once a month. Or you go ahead and launch an automated webinar, which is a complete evergreen system that runs simultaneously without you actually being there. Now, don't get me wrong, there are pros and cons to both of these. I'm not going to say that automated is better than live or live webinars are better than automated webinars. It really doesn't matter which one you choose as far as it fits your offer. Now, the strategy that we actually implemented for our client was actually an automated webinar, right? Now, the reason why we chose this route is simply just because it works a lot better with the offer and the funnel process, and ideally the strategy that we wanted to implement, it just wouldn't work as well with doing a live webinar. So that can pretty much answer your question. If you're thinking about doing a live or an auto webinar, just think about the way that you want to run your business and how you actually want to scale up. Is it something that you want to do every single week and do live webinars? Or is it a case where you want to go ahead and just automate this process and just have it running every single day? It's up to you. You choose. Now, for the registration page, we actually had two time slots. So we had a just-in time slot and we had a 7 p.m. time slot as well. Now, the reason why we had just two time slots available is because we want to narrow down the options. We don't want to give people a ton of time slots available and then they go ahead and watch it maybe tomorrow and then they don't attend. The main objective here is to get people to really and truly watch the just-in-time webinar. And if you're not aware of what this feature is inside a Webinar Jam, it essentially allows you to run the webinar every 15 to 30 minutes simultaneously. Now, once they go through to the registration page, they will then come through to the confirmation page. And on there, we just put a little bit of information of what to expect and what we're really going to cover inside the webinar. They then will go through to a waiting room. Now, the waiting room will depend on what time slot you chose on the registration page for the just in time. So, for example, if you landed on the registration page at 5:05, the next available slot would actually be 5:15. So you'd need to wait 10 minutes before you actually go ahead and go into the live room, which will then start once the time is up. Now, when it comes to automated webinars, there's one key takeaway that you need to have in mind. You need to act out as if the webinar is live. Now, in some cases, you can get away with this in some niches, and there's some audiences that won't actually clock on to what you're doing. But there are features inside of Webinar Jam that allow you to set up like bot chats and live notifications just to give it that real live room feel. Now, what most people do when it comes to automated webinars is they'll try and make an offer at the end, or they'll offer you to book a call. However, there is going to be a catch. You'll see that the conversion rate to sell higher ticket programs is not as effective as if it was live. Now, the reason for that is because you can actually really engage with your audience. You can ask them questions. You can actually read what is inside the chat and ask questions as you go. Whereas when it's automated, yes, you can fake it and you can start answering some questions that you've pre-made or preset inside of the chatbot sequence, but there's just that element that just doesn't make it feel as effective as if it was live. So here's what we did. So instead of trying to sell a 5 to 10K offer through an automated webinar, which is probably not even going to convert as well as if it was live, you want to go ahead and create what we like to call a bridge product. Now, a bridge product ranges anywhere from $297 to $1,000. Anything between that range is sort of the sweet spot. Now, it's going to play alongside as like a mini course to what you're actually going to be selling as your high ticket offer. And you're going to package this with 6 to 10 videos providing value and also targeting all of your audience's pain points. Now, when you present this, you're going to go ahead and give away some additional bonuses. The reason why we do this is just because we want to incentivize people to go ahead and make that purchase. The more bonuses you give away, the sweeter the deal sounds, and people are more inclined to go ahead and buy, which is what we want them to do. Now, the idea of the bridge product strategy is that you're self-liquidating your ad spend. Once they've gone ahead and purchased, they will then be redirected to book a strategy session, which gives you 100% show rate. And the reason why people show up is because when people pay, they pay attention. So what then happens here is that you're now actually going ahead and speaking to someone who's watched 1 hour of your webinar. They've watched 3 to 4 hours of the content that you put inside the mini course. And then the time they get to the strategy session, they've already consumed at least 4 to 5 hours of content before they've even been introduced to your high ticket offer. And this is why it works so well, right? Some people would drive people that watch the webinar to a strategy call straight away. Now, the only problem with doing that is that you have no control over the show up rate. And you're not self-liquidating the ad spend. So you're sort of just hoping that people book and show up. There's too many loopholes that they need to go through before you actually pitch your high ticket offer and start actually making some money from the webinar. once they attend this strategy session, you're actually going to go through 5 to 10, 15 minutes of just understanding what their thoughts are of the webinar, the feedback from the mini course and what they learn and where they're at. And once you've built that rapport, you can then go ahead and present them with your high ticket offer, which ranges from anywhere from 5 to 10K plus. Now, this is going to be such an easier sale than if they were just to go through the webinar and book a call. Why? Because they've consumed 4 to 5 hours of content. You're getting hundreds of leads for free. You send them SMS and email sequences. You've got their information. And on top of all this, you're self-liquidating the webinar registrants, which you can also follow up with and book calls with because they've obviously watched at least an hour. And then you've also got people who have bought from you and they've spent at least $297 or $1,000, whatever the price range is or the price tag that you've listed on your bridge product. The time they come to this strategy session, you're speaking with buyers. You're not speaking with leads or prospects. You're actually speaking with buyers who've already spent time with you and they've also paid for your bridge product. So now the likelihood of you closing for your high ticket offer is more likely than ever. So let's just say that you wanted to go ahead and ramp things up. You can come in and get a setter on board to actually go ahead, call all of the leads who have watched the webinar and get them to book a call with your team. And once you've got this system dialed in, you can start to see results that look like this. And here are just some screenshots from our Slack channel. So our bridge product was $297. The webinar strategy session was booked in a few minutes after. Here's another example. And you can see that we're actually really qualifying these people one step further, even though they've already watched the webinar, they've purchased the bridge product. We really want to make sure that we're getting as much information from the prospect as possible so that the sales rep or yourself is ready to actually go ahead and present them with the high ticket offer on the strategy session. And here's just a pro tip, which I'm going to go ahead and give to you guys, is that what we want to do with the Calendly timeframe is we want to allow at least 4 to 5 days before they can actually see the first available slot so that it gives you time or gives them time to actually go ahead and watch the bridge product content before they actually attend the strategy session, which again will then increase the conversion rate because they've watched more content. So you can really see how this all comes together, right? You have your bridge product, which gives them more content, gives them more value, but also self-liquidates the front end. And then you also have the strategy session, which is 100% show rate because they're turning up because they bought and they think that it's part of the deal when you purchase, which is great. It increases conversion rates for you or the closer. And overall, it just works a lot better than just sending them to go book a call. And when it comes to scaling, it's pretty simple. You can set up some retargeting ads and also send them to a landing page that looks a little bit like this. So what we want to go ahead and do here is literally just launch some retargeting ads just so that we can redirect that traffic to this landing page. And it just gives them the opportunity to go ahead and watch the full replay. Now, if we just scroll down slightly, you'll be able to see that the next step will be revealed within the next 12 minutes. Now, the next step is for them to go ahead and schedule a discovery call with you and your team. But we want to make sure that they consume at least 10 to 15 minutes of the webinar before they schedule this call. Now, the best part of this retargeting strategy is that not only are you getting more registrants to go ahead and watch the replay, but you're also directing people to go ahead and book a call, and they would have watched at least 10 to 15 minutes, depending on whatever you set the timer to, before they actually jump on a call with you and your team, which now also gets more calls on your calendar and more opportunities for you to go ahead and sell your high ticket offer. So if you were on the fence on what webinar strategy will work best for you, whether it's live or automated, I hope this video gave you some value. And if you're a coach or course creator that is looking to scale up to 100K plus months, then there will be a link in the description and also a link to another video on how we generated over $300,000 in revenue just for one of our clients in 30 days. You can go ahead and check that out, and I will see you in the next one.